Hey everyone. Well, I was going to do this video with my better video cameras, but I realized to do a bathroom, especially this one, there's not enough room in here to fit all that, so we're going cell phone today. So, what I want to show you is, if I set up my tripod here, you can always see it. You can even see my cell phone in the mirror right there. So I wanted to talk about composition in a bathroom such as this. You can see there's a shower over this end, and then we've got our door, and we're back to the side again. So let's talk about composition first. If I come over here and try to get this, if I was using a tripod in the camera, you're going to see it. I mean, you could angle it a little bit like that, but with a tripod, it's even harder. With a cell phone, it's pretty easy. So what do? Well, I like to divide a bathroom like this in half. So what I'll do is shut this door, and I will get in this opposite corner, and of course use flash, and get a shot like this. The next shot I'm going to get, I'll back up here where the toilet's at, and forget the counter, you get a little bit of it, and get another shot, something like this. So you want to divide your bathroom shots up into two, if that's what it takes to get you out of the photo. So now we're going to actually take the photos, but just so you know, those are the compositions I'm going to use. And notice I do have the lights on, which I normally like the lights off. They are on. There is no window to help out with lighting whatsoever, so they are going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the photos, and as always, I'm going to show you how I edit them. So we're going to get started now. All right, so just like I told you, I'm going to line up the first photo coming back this way. I know you won't be able to see me too well, but I'll talk you through it. So what I'm going to do for this first shot is I'm going to shut the door, going to get my composition, hold the flash up here, and I may have to move it just a little bit depending on how the shadows go from the flash and the walls and everything, but more than likely I'm going to have to show you most of this whenever we edit. And then the next shot that I'm going to get, I'm going to focus right over here. I'm going to go to that corner, spin it around that way, and that way it keeps me, of course, out of the mirror. And what I'm going to do as far as the lights go is I'm going to settings. I always use 320 for an ISO. F-stop is going to be 7.1, and I'm going to crank down on the shutter speed until it tames the lights down. My guess is somewhere between 100 to 160th of a second seems to always be the sweet spot. And then what I'll do is light the rest up with flash. Should look pretty good. So I'll see you whenever we get to Photoshop. All right, I have the photos loaded into Bridge, Adobe Bridge. So I've got my photos. I'm going to right click, open them up in Camera Raw. And I'm going to select all the photos and run my preset. And if you want to know what my presets and actions are, I have a video of that, so where you don't have to go into that in every video. So now that I've done that, put the presets on there, I am going to go to the first photo, and I'm going to do a white balance adjustment. So I'm going to take the white balance tool. There we go. And I'm going to click on anything that's white, which luckily there's plenty of white in there. What I'm trying to do, go to the next photo, same thing. Next photo is I'm trying to calibrate all the photos so there's somewhat the same white balance, even if it's not a good white balance. At least they're the exact same. I'll fix that in the last step. Okay, now that I've done all that, select all the photos. I'm going to open them up in Photoshop. Okay, now that we have them loaded into Photoshop, I'm going to use my Action Sharp, File, Automate, Batch. It's going to apply Sharp into all of those, and that is done. So now I'm going to take the first of the three photos, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit on a Mac, Command A, but if it was a PC, it would be Control A. So Command A to select the image, Command C to copy it, go to the next photo, Command V, paste it there, make a mask. Now I'm going to teeter the eyeball and see what aspects of the first photo to the second photo that I want to use. Okay, there's the top, underneath, top, underneath. Okay, so I'm seeing a few things I might use, dark and light. All right, so I'm going to grab the brush tool. I'm going to use black, which is going to reveal it because we have a white mask. I'll use the opacity that it's at, 31%. One thing I'm going to do is keep clicking on these bulbs because the other picture beneath it had the bulbs a little lighter. They weren't as bright, so that would be cool. Going back and forth again. There's really not a whole lot I'm going to use that other photo for, except for this whole bathroom side here where the toilet's at. So, I'm going to make the brush bigger and brush this in. Every time I click and drag, it's another 31% opacity. I could go 100, but you'll find out real quick when you try working with 100, it's just too much and you end up having to undo what you did and kind of go slower. All right, right click, flatten image, Command A, Command C, next picture, Command V. All right, let's teeter back, let's make a mask first and go back and forth. All right, so see the streak here in the mirror, right in this area. You'll see the one beneath it, it's gone. This board here, this part of the door trim, if you go back and forth, you can see it's got more detail in the second one. And I can also see in these cabinets here a little bit more detail in the second one. All right, and there's a few things over here we might want to use, but we'll just play it by ear. All right, again, we're brushing with the black. I'll leave it at 31. Start with this trim work, bring that in. Okay, so there should be more detail there. Here's darkening up the cabinets just a little bit. If I want a little bit more, I'll click and drag again. Be another 31% opacity. Here's this streak. Okay, that's gone. Let's look over the toilet area. Okay, take that shine off there. And just minimize that just a little bit. Okay, this area right here is a little bright, but the one beneath it's a little bit darker. So I'll just go down here and darken that up just a little bit. See the sinks, if that changes anything. A little bit, nothing major. May take one swipe across there. All right, so I believe we've done all the edits we need to do on this one. So I'm going to flatten that one and keep it for the next step. So the next thing we're going to do is load in our next picture. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one. All right, we're in the other angle of the bathroom. So here's our first photo. Here's our second. As you can see, I moved the light. Why did I move the light? So I was standing right behind the camera, so where the angle is. And you can see it brightened up this door a little bit too much because I'm closest to that door and it's white. In the other photo, I stretched out my arm over here to the right. As you can see, it brightened up over here. And it took some of the brightness away from this door and gave me a little bit more detail because the light is reflecting at an angle now instead of being right on it and taking away most of the contour to the door. So let's start with the top shot. Command A, Command C, you guessed it, Command V. And I'm going to make another mask. Take the brush. Let's go with black. We have to because we have a white mask. We're going to reveal the door here, which makes the door not as bright and brings out more of the detail. So let me teeter back and forth. See what else I'm going to use. Maybe down here at the bottom of this tub area. Okay, so I'll lightly brush down here at the bottom of the tub. Make that ever so bright there. I would go up here, except there's too many things that could go wrong. You got a bright area here, you got a shadow here. Better off just keeping what I got there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flatten that image, save it, and I'll see you for the last step in Adobe RAW. Okay, back in Camera Raw. Got this first photo. I'm going to go ahead and straighten it out. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom, try automatic, and it did a fairly decent job. Let's try vertical. Yep, that worked out fairly good. Let's teeter between the two. I'll go with that one. So vertical. Next thing I'm going to do is try to adjust this white balance. Let me hit auto. Makes it more yellow. +8, +2. No. Doesn't look right to me. So let's do the eyedropper and see if any other part of the white makes it okay. Not bad for here. Little blue all over here and here. This looks better. The reason it's doing that is we do have a light on, which is a yellow orangey light source. And if we have it to the way we had it shot, I know we've already done one white balance adjustment, but you can see how yellow that is here. If you ever want to see in detail, go to color mixer, and if I turn up the orange, you can see how that comes out. And I can take the oranges out by pulling the oranges out, but we don't want to do that. At least not right now. Let's mess with yellow. See how much, yeah, we got yellow in there and orange. Only in the top part. If I mess with the blues, let's see how much blues we have. Not a whole lot of blue. Let's try aquas. Yep, we got some aquas going on. All right, so let's see what we can do about this white balance. I am going to do this the harder way. Take the brush tool. Let's go paint with a temperature of +4. So this is going to turn things a little yellowish. I'm going to put it here where we got most of the blues, which is here, here, everywhere except up here in this area. So do a quick thing there. Now, if I want to turn it up just a little bit more, I'll hit +5, see how it looks. I'm also going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see it a little bit better, everything in view. Not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and make a global adjustment and raise the temperature just one more. I'm okay with that. Verticals are vertical. White balance is somewhat correct. I am okay with this one, except for I want to brighten it up just a tad. And you could sit here and nitpick your photos for hours if you want. But you got to call it quit at some point in time. So I'll brush in a little bit of exposure here, maybe along the bottom here where the flash bouncing off the ceiling didn't hit the bottom as hard as it did the top of the door. There we go. I think we'll keep that one. Go to the next photo. Okay, let's go to our geometry here and fix the verticals. Try automatic. Try vertical. So let's teeter between the two. All right, I'm going to do this one with the guided. So draw a line down that part and here. When I release, it should straighten up, which it did. All right. On this and the other shot, I believe I used 1/160th of a second, which really made those bulbs to where you can actually see them. That's always a good thing. Let me lighten up the highlights a little bit. We've got a white balance issue, meaning it's a little off. Go back to as shot. Okay, I'm going to do this manually. I can see it's a little bit too this color, magenta. Let me back it off just a tad. And it's a little yellow. Let me back that off just a little bit. All right. Maybe one more. And a little bit more here. There we go. That looks a lot better. And we are clipping just a tad up here, but I don't see where it's clipping. I'm going to lower the highlights just a little bit more. There we go. Turn black. And brush a little less highlights and a little less exposure over here where it looks a little too much. And while I'm at it, put it on these bulbs. I always like, if I'm going to have the lights on, I want pretty bulbs there. All right. So I think we will leave it at that, and I hope you learned something on this, and have a great day.